Coming up on this month's edition of The Now, a student published a test preparatory book. We'll talk about the new cafeteria food and the #1 runner in the nation. Stay tuned for these stories coming up next. Good morning, Huskies, and welcome to the North on Wednesdays, or the Now for short. I'm Julia Shanahan.
And I'm Nick Patuzzi.
And we're here to bring you updates on all things Husky happening.
From our Chromebooks to a new contest gym, Naperville North has gone through some pretty radical changes this year.
They sure have, and one of those changes was also made to the school lunches. Gone is Sodexo, opening the cafeteria to a new company called Aramark. But students still seem to be unsatisfied with what is being offered. We go to Kenny Jacino for more details.
Thanks, guys. So last year, Sodexo realized that they weren't making enough profit off their best-selling products, which were their chips and cookies, due to the restrictions put on by the USDA. This year, Aramark's goal is to make food that tastes good while also staying in the restrictions set. We asked some students to see what they had to say.
So what are some things you wish the new Aramark lunches would be different from?
Well, the portion size is a lot smaller, so I always feel hungry afterward. I feel like I didn't even eat lunch. And everything it's kind of the same food, but a lot of it tastes worse this year, and I always feel gross after eating it.
All right, so what are some things from the lunches that you kind of miss from Sodexo?
I miss the chicken tenders a lot. They were really good. And also, they had, the chicken wok. That was really good.
Have you had a new Aramark lunch?
Yeah.
Okay, do you find the quality to be lower?
Yeah, it's they don't give you as much food, and it just doesn't taste good.
I'm here with Will Trubshaw, a reporter from the North Star who spoke with Carol Christensen, the director of business for this district. Will, what are some of the reasons that this change happened?
Well, Kenny, in February of this year, Sodexo, who had been the school's lunch provider for close to 30 years, realized that they weren't making enough money under the new USDA regulations, which changed ingredients in the foods, namely the a la carte items, which is where Sodexo was making most of their money. And they completed their contract at the end of the school year, however.
So what happened after they completed their contract?
Well, the district had to go look for a new food provider, and they went out to bid to find the lowest cost, and they landed on Aramark, who's obviously now our food provider.
What are some changes that you see from last year to this year alone?
From last year to this year, you see that Aramark is really trying to provide students with a more diverse meal plan. They're trying to get them as many options as possible, as well as make sure they're healthy. And that's even a change from the beginning of the school year. And I know there were students that were concerned with the lack of diversity in their meals, and that's an issue that Aramark has taken to heart, and they've really improved upon that, I think.
So as we begin to learn more about this new Aramark switch, we'll be sure to keep you guys updated on the latest news. From the North Star, this is Kenny Jacino. Back to you guys.
Throughout our school careers, we've all taken some form of standardized test, and we all know how much we love preparing for those. Whether it's an online class, a tutor, or even a book, there are many different ways to prepare. And did you know one of our very own Huskies has a book published on Amazon?
That's right. Freshman and former Kennedy Junior High student Karen G. actually published a book on how to take the COGAT test. She scored a perfect, so she's the expert. We go to Marina Silva with the details.
Thanks, Julia and Nick. Freshman Karen G. published her own test prep on Amazon. She made her own practice test for herself for the COGAT test, and now she wants to carry that on for other students. We caught up with her to find out what the writing and publishing process was like.
Well, I was inspired to write this book because after taking the COGAT test myself, the only test prep material that was available was just practice tests from Mercer Publishing, and all they had was problems and then the answers, but it didn't have any solutions or anything. So I would be staring at a problem I got wrong, and the answer would say it was C, and I was like, I think it's B. Why is it C? And so I wanted to help my other students, because I could write down some explanations, and they would actually figure out why they got something wrong. Writing this book took a long time. I started after 4th grade, and I didn't publish it until after 5th grade. But I first just went through and wrote down all of the test questions because I made my own practice test. So I first went through those, and I wrote down my solutions for them. And then I decided to expand it a bit more by explaining general strategies. And then later I incorporated the COGAT cat and the trap dog because I thought that would make it a bit more appealing to younger students. And then I had to go through the whole thing and edit it again. So
A huge congratulations to you, Karen, for publishing this amazing study tool. For any future COGAT testers, the book is called Dissecting the New COGAT, and it's available on Amazon. Guys, back to you.
Wow, neither of us would have been writing a book our freshman year.
Yeah, Huskies sure are coming up with some amazing accomplishments.
Speaking of amazing accomplishments, we have another well-renowned Husky, this time in the sport of running.
We go to Christian Barzy for the scoop.
Thanks, guys. That Husky we are talking about is senior Judy Pendergast, also the captain of the cross-country team. Just a few weeks back, Judy ran a 16-minute and 18-second 3-mile run, which currently stands as the fastest time in the nation. We spoke to the cross-country coach here at North, Dan Iverson, about some of Judy's accomplishments. He spoke of not only how great of a runner she is, but also how humble she has been throughout the whole process. Judy also credits some of her teammates for the great support they have offered her and making her better every day.
Like, I look up to a lot of the girls and like how they do every meet, like that just like inspires me. Like all the girls on the team give like their effort every day, like 100%, and so that like inspires me. And like I don't really have like a huge role model like that's famous or that people have like heard of before. Like I think people do awesome things all the time, but like every day I get to see like my teammates work really hard, and so that's awesome. Like I ran the fastest time for 3 miles, and like I don't know, I wasn't like expecting that when I had run, and so it was like really cool, and it's kind of cool how like far you can go when your teammates push you and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, it's fun.
Not only is Judy an incredible athlete, she also gets it done in the classroom and has spoken closely with many different Ivy League schools. She does intend to run in college and will be keeping all of her options open. Just another awesome story from the student base here at Naperville North High School. In a football preview, the Huskies take on Waubonsee Valley High School this week in an annual homecoming game. They look to end the season on a positive note in winning against Wheaton Warrenville South next week and Waubonsee this week, and will have a tall task in scoring off of what has been a stifling defense thus far from Waubonsee Valley. For all you fans out there, the theme will be Safari theme and will kick off a great weekend of homecoming for all. Guys, back to you.
We all need to give a hand to our Huskies for showing some undying persistence on the field.
Well, that's what being a Husky is all about, Julia.
Sure is, Nick. Well, that wraps it up for this month's edition of The Now. Be sure to check out our website for updates and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and yes, Snapchat. From the North Star, this has been Julia Shanahan.
And Nick Patuzzi.
Have a great day, Huskies, and we'll see you next month.